Day one of Mount Kilimanjaro. Holy cow. Full of adventure. It was amazing. But the day did not start right. Let me tell you.
Good morning. I just woke up. We haven't even started hiking yet. I woke up and I had a huge Charlie horse cramp in my right calf. What the heck? I gotta say, it does make me a little more nervous. I'm gonna kind of check it out today before we go, and yeah, let's see how this goes.
Yeah, so just this horrible cramp in my leg. I was like, I haven't even started hiking. What is this? Is this a foreshadow of what's gonna happen right as I'm about to reach the peak? Like, and then I like stumble down the hill and die? Sure hope not. So anyway, that was like quite a wild ride to start the day. But I knew it was gonna be okay. So we went and had breakfast. Yeah, enjoyed some delicious fruit and bread. And then we made our way over. So once we got to the park, they had these maps, which were really cool to look at. You could see a scale of the mountain we were going to be climbing, as well as the routes that we were going to be going up. We went up the Marangu Route, which was a 5-day climb, and apparently one of the easier ones. It was still extremely challenging, extremely fun. It was amazing. I would definitely recommend it to anyone. It's easier because you don't necessarily stay intense the entire time. You have a couple, your nights are actually at these sort of dormitory cabin-like structures. It was still very, very cold. As I went reading the signs there, I saw that Uhuru translates to freedom, just like I had mentioned in the previous video. This was really important because Uhuru Peak being the top of Mount Kilimanjaro, that's where we were going. So it was just a symbolic journey of what does freedom look like for us? What does it look like for me? What does it look like for you? It was really cool to see that and to remember what I was hiking for. As William and I actually made lists about what freedom looks like to us so that we could remember throughout this hike that we were hiking towards Uhuru, meaning freedom. There was even a little mini Kilimanjaro that we got to climb up, and there was a sign on there, so just gave us a little manifestation of like, we're gonna accomplish this, we got this. And just like that, you see the sign, you know, the starting point, Marangu Route, and just like that we began. And it was an amazing start, right? I just loved it. It was this lush green rainforest. So as you're walking, you're just seeing these dark green colors, beautiful trees, you're surrounded by it all. Not what I was picturing, you know, when you think of Kilimanjaro, you picture kind of like this dry mountain with snow at the top. But no, the first day was pretty magical going through these jungles. We actually saw some really neat things too. We saw some really cool monkeys playing in the trees, just hanging around. So took some videos. But then there was also this really creepy monkey, this black and white one that was like super loud and made this crazy sound. So that was fun to witness. After a while of hiking, we stopped for a nice lunch. We had a hard-boiled egg, we had chicken. Like, these guys hooked us up. It was really delicious, the food. So really grateful for that. And I gotta say too, their juices just so natural here. So even though it was like boxed like you would have here, just so delicious. I love it. After lunch, we kept on our way and we just continued hiking in this beautiful rainforest jungle and saw some, you know, there was little creeks and rivers next to us, which were beautiful. We saw some waterfalls, which were really beautiful. And just, William and I were having a great time. We talked a lot with our tour guides, got to know them better, and just started this journey off right. One of the best things I just could not get over was how much moss there was on the trees. Also just how big the trees were and how beautiful that greenery was. There was this huge banana tree that we saw too. Well, super cool. Something you just don't see every day. Hidden in the jungle of Kilimanjaro, which was awesome. Soaking in that day, and once we finally made it to Mandata Hut, which is where we would be staying that night, and we were relieved. We were like, whoa, is it gonna be this easy all the way to the top? But we were in for a surprise on day 4, so stay tuned for that. But once we got to Mandata Hut, we took our picture with the sign. We got settled into our little huts that we were gonna be in. And then after a while, we got to have dinner that night, which was absolutely delicious. They only started us off with like a soup, and then we had potatoes, and then a different kind of salad. They'd also give us popcorn, which apparently gives you energy. I don't know if they were just telling me that, but honestly, all I can say is I was grateful for it, grateful to be eating out there in the wilderness. Just delicious. And then that night, William and I, we went over our goals and what that freedom looks like in our life and what we were hiking towards. Getting to share those goals with William was really inspiring. He really had some amazing goals, and a lot of mine felt more of like, oh, I want this for me, for my family to prosper and to do well. And his was very much like, I want this for others. Like, he wanted his mom to feel better, to be happy, right? And that was just really inspiring to see, and something that I definitely learned from. So we also made it a point after we shared our goals and talked about them to sign our little books for whenever we made it to each hut. So every night we would sign off that we made it. We had a space as well for Kilimanjaro, the top Uhuru peak. Once we made it, that we would sign it and just forever look back on that moment and be grateful that we stuck with it. Every journey begins with a single step, and this was day one. And even though in the morning when I got out of bed, that was not the best step that I've ever taken in my life, because it was very painful cramping up like that. But I decided to let that fear go, to move forward, and it ended up being one of the most beautiful days. Just an amazing hiking experience, and I was already feeling much more confident, and I just allowed myself to let go. I just had to let it go and remember what I was hiking for, why I was doing it, and just choose to enjoy myself while I was there. So overall, very successful day, but day two just got a little bit harder, definitely before summit day. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for day two of this crazy adventure. All right, we'll see you in the next video.